Greetings and welcome to the channel if you're new. I have a lot of exciting content to show you. I'll leave timestamps in the description for each individual puzzle. I've been busy with these and several other projects the last month or two. I want to start by giving a big thanks to Chewie's custom stickers. Jason's been really helpful meeting all my sticker and puzzle needs. I hope you enjoy the video and stay tuned. I have a lot of things planned. These are 3 puzzles I got from Chewie's Custom Stickers website, and they're the first FDM 3D printed puzzles I have. I do have some puzzles with 3D printed extensions on them, and I thought it was interesting because I plan to get a 3D printer in the future. I'm not sure if they use PLA or ABS, but I'm really surprised with the quality and happy with how well they turn. This is a mirror square one by NK3. I was gonna get a yellow one, but Chewie had an orange one already made, and I said, go ahead and send it to me. I'm impressed with the turning quality, and it's what I expected. It's a nice addition to my collection. I like mirror cubes and shape-changing cubes. I hadn't solved a square one in a long time, so the algorithms were unfamiliar, and I was only a little bit trickier, it being a mirror version of this puzzle. Not too difficult. I like how the designer's name is inscribed in the sticker and mirror square one. That gave me an idea of when I get some custom stickers, I'll maybe put my name or put something on there. Yeah, so that's really cool. This puzzle is called the Catsup. It's one of Braden's puzzles. It looked simple enough when I bought it. It has these corners turn and the tip of the puzzle turns. It was really tight when I got it, but then after just a few drops of lube, it loosened right up and it turns really well. I'm really impressed. You can do a 3-cycle move. It appears to jumble and shapeshift, but that's only to exchange pieces. See if we do like an away and then away towards. Yeah, you see we could do a 3-cycle of these pedals, and you can turn this, and it's not an easy puzzle. Each time you make a turn, because it's such a small puzzle, and when you make a turn you're turning so many pieces, there's not a lot of room, and I had to look up the solution online, and some of the algorithms had several moves, like nearly 40 moves. So I like that these puzzles are small and fairly inexpensive. Much less expensive than, say, an SLS 3D printed puzzle. So I'm excited to buy more of these in the future. This looks like a 2x2, but it's not. This is a 2x2 Evil Twin by CME. And this kind of puzzle appeals to me because it's not what it looks like. Right away it looks like maybe some type of camouflage cube because it is a bandaged 3x3. I guess inside of every 2x2 is a 3x3. But this one's been bandaged in a way that it's really interesting. You can see, I'll show you here. Yeah, right there, see? You can see how some of these pieces are hollowed out, and it allows for pieces to pass underneath them. But it only will go so far. The interesting thing about this puzzle, it's more of an idea and an interesting artistic piece, something to look at and marvel, because I can't scramble it very much. I mean, you can see right here I'm doing some moves, but then I'll quickly get to a point where, aha, there we go, where not very many turns are possible. Oh, cool. This is the first time I've been able to scramble it and get it back to its shape on camera. When playing with this puzzle, I would frequently be trying to scramble it and I would just end up back in the solved state. So that's actually really cool. And I think there might be another state, another scrambled state where it's in its original shape and not solved. Or it might just be this in the solved state. But that's really cool. I'm really happy I just discovered that. Let's see if maybe I can get lucky and turn it back. This isn't the hardest puzzle because there are only so many available moves. I really like it though because I'm gonna get it into some other evil twin puzzles. My first experience with an evil twin puzzle is the evil twin 4x4. That's this puzzle. What interested me was that it looked like a 4x4, but it's actually two 3x3s fused together, and there have been extensions glued onto it to make it appear as a 4x4. I just thought that was so cool. It's a really fun solve too. And my plans for the future, once I get that 3D printer, are to print extensions to make an Evil Twins 3x3, which is really just two fused 2x2s made to look like a 3x3. And I'd also like to make an evil twin that looks like a 3x3x2, but it's got two 2x2s bandaged together like a Siamese puzzle. So that'll be cool. All right, I hope you like it so far. I got a lot more things to show you, so cool. I was getting a lot of glare, so I put this towel up, which reminds me of a movie. So say hello to my little friend. This next part in my video, I'm going to show you some puzzles I made using super glue and custom stickers I got from Chewie's. I made the template using a CAD program and saved it as a DXF file. I showed this puzzle in a previous video and I hadn't stickered it yet. Well, it's done. And this is a cubic 6x8x10. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 layers here. This came out really well. Even though it's just with super glue, I'm really happy with it, and I would encourage you, if you have some cubes you're not using anymore, to just use super glue on them. I left the original Sheng Shao red stickers and yellow stickers here. You can tell it's just a little bit different shade than the ones I added because I was too lazy to remove and add those, and I think it looks fine. I really like this puzzle. I like how well it turns, and I like that it's cubic because it's more stable, and the center pieces can be a bit loose due to the bandaging, but that's to be expected. If I were to buy a puzzle like this with 3D printed extensions put onto it, it would be massive. And I imagine it'd be hard to turn. And so this is just a lot of fun. And at the end of the video, I will scramble it to show you what it looks like. I can solve this holding it in my lap, but it also works well having it on a flat surface. So yeah. Moving on to a smaller puzzle, yet equally as fun. We have a 4x6x8. This 4x6x8 was made with a Moyu budget 8x8, and I really like it. This is such a small portable puzzle that turns like phenomenally. Best budget 4x6x8. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers here. Again, I left the white stickers. You can't really tell, but the radius on the corner is much smaller than these custom stickers I had. And I had these templates. If anyone's interested, I could share them with you, and you can get yourself a set and make yourself one of these puzzles. It's not very hard to glue the pieces together, just be careful. So let me show you my original 4x6x8. I think I've showed this in a video before. This is the first 4x6x8 I got from Raiden. He has an Etsy store. He makes a lot of different cuboids. And this is a really good puzzle. It turns really well. It's made using 3D printed extensions. As you can see, there's an 8x8 cube inside of here. This puzzle I made is probably, it's definitely less than half the size. It's much smaller, and because it's cubic, you don't have to worry about pieces sticking out and catching. And there's nothing wrong with this puzzle. I mean, I think a lot of people prefer it in its more natural shape, because it just looks really cool when it changes shape. And I totally get that. This is a much less expensive alternative though. So yeah, this is a lot of fun, and what I'd like to do is, in the future, I'd like to be able to reduce it to a 2x2 using a reduction method and reducing the corners, similarly to a 2x4x6. I know it's possible. Alright, let's move on to some other puzzles. Here's another puzzle I made with super glue. This was originally a white Shengshao 6x6, and you'll notice with the white puzzles where the pieces were super glued together is a little more obvious. I've gone with a similar color scheme for all these puzzles to keep it simple. Black instead of white on the white plastic. This is a cubic 6x6x4. There are a lot of different possibilities you could do with bandaging puzzles, and this was just an easy one I wanted to make. It turns well, just as the other puzzles do. It's maybe a little tighter. Doesn't turn as well as the 4x6x8, but this is a fun solve. The stickers all came out fantastic on all these puzzles. And not much to say about this one. I do have some plans in the future to make some more puzzles like this. I was thinking of 5x5x7. So, alright. This next one here is really interesting. It appears to be a 5x6x7, but it's not. Not really, not at all. And I'll explain. This 6x6x4, it acts as a fully functional 6x6x4 because the bandaging is happening equally on opposite sides of the puzzle above its equator. And that creates the symmetry needed to maintain the original 6x6x4 puzzle. So it functions completely as a 6x6x4. When we bandage pieces on one side of the puzzle, it becomes more like a floppy iCube. And in this case, we've bandaged pieces on adjacent layers. On this layer, I've bandaged 3 pieces together. And on this layer up here, I've bandaged 2 pieces together. Super Antonio Vivaldi has a video, and somebody made this puzzle and they called it a Floppy iCube Extreme. And Super Antonio Vivaldi goes on to explain that it acts more like a camo cube. And if you can imagine putting 3D printed extensions on these pieces opposite of where the bandaging is happening, you'd realize why it could be seen as a camo cube, because when you would turn a face, it would be completely off center. And when you make moves with this puzzle, it immediately bandages a lot of pieces together. When it's fully scrambled, there are only 3 layers available, and it needs to be reduced as a 3x3. Fortunately, when reducing the 3x3 corners, you don't have to include the centerpieces, and all the centerpieces can be solved last. And it's actually pretty tricky to put in the centerpieces due to all the bandaging. The simple moving in or swinging U technique of exchanging centerpieces is really hard. And anyways, I thought this was an interesting puzzle, so I decided to make one, and it was fun and challenging to solve. I will scramble it for you at the end of the video and you'll see what it looks like. Here we have another interesting puzzle. I got the idea for this off the Twisty Puzzle forum. The person who came up with it called it a Chimera Wannabe cube, because it's almost like you have half of a 6x6 and half of a 4x4. I like the way this puzzle looks. It kind of creates a window, and it's a really unique puzzle. It's a fun reduction solve. Reducing these first 4 corners is fairly easy and straightforward, and you can put in the centers last, or at least the last couple centers if you're having trouble. This is very much resembles a 4x4 AI cube. There's more freedom of movement than the original Chimera cube, which you could not exchange pieces between the 6x6 and the 4x4 sides. It doesn't create any more difficulty. It actually makes the puzzle a little easier to reduce these corners, these kind of 2x2 corners. And then when reducing these corners, it's really a marathon. I'd never solved like a 6x6 AI cube before, and it takes a long time. I mean, you're basically solving a 4x4 AI cube twice just on this part of the puzzle. So you'd solve this pretty easy, kind of as a warm-up, and then you get to this and it's like, okay, I'm reducing this 2x2 block in the corner, and then pairing up these pieces to create the edges, and then finally reducing the entire corner. So this is a neat puzzle. This was made with a budget Moyu 6x6. Let's see if I can return it to its, yeah, there we go. Uh-oh. Wait. Darn it. There. Alright, so yeah, I really like this puzzle. I think it's really cool. It's a lot of fun to solve, turns really well. A lot of these puzzles would be difficult to mod using epoxy sculpt because there are so many pieces, and to disassemble such a big puzzle and to put the epoxy sculpt in all the cracks and sand it down would take an awfully long time. So super glue is just a better option for some of these puzzles. And only a couple more to show you, and then I'm going to do a segment where I scramble them all. This is a bin 5x5. Evgeny came up with this, and he sells these on his store. It's also an Etsy store, Living Puzzles by Grigor Russia. It's a beautiful bandage puzzle, and I have heard that only a handful of people have ever solved this. And I do have a solution I'm going to refer to, and I feel like I'm in way over my head with this, and it's going to be a nightmare to solve. I will not be scrambling this one yet because I want to try out some of the moves to see how they work on a solved puzzle. And this was made from a Shangshao 5x5, and it came out really well. It turns, you know, beautifully. I mean, it turns perfectly. One thing really quick before I get to scrambling some of these puzzles and we conclude this video. I've been really enjoying Cubondo's videos. They are in Spanish, but I use the subtitles and then the auto translate, and he's been really helpful, and we've had some communication going on, and he gave me this idea to bandage a 5x5 by bandaging this big 3x3x5 block in the corner and solving it. And that was a lot of fun. It gave me confidence to be able to solve puzzles without immediately looking at the solution. What I did first was I kind of solved this inner layer, and then when I got to the outer layer, you know, of course I reduced the centers, and then I reduced the edges, and then I solved it like a big block bandage 3x3. So I would encourage you to try this puzzle, and I may make one of these in the future using epoxy sculpt. I think it would be a good addition to my collection. I've solved it once, and as you can see, I recently scrambled it so I could solve it again. I like the idea of this puzzle that you really only have two faces that turn, but you have two layers on each face, and it definitely makes it really interesting. Thanks for watching, and get ready to see what these puzzles look like scrambled. It's that time to turn these into a beautiful mess and scramble them. I'm going to start with this one, and then maybe this one and these. I'll save this one for the end. It takes the longest to scramble. First I'm gonna scramble up these pieces and then these pieces, and then I'll exchange them with each other. All right. And with some of these cuboid puzzles, the best way to scramble it is to start with 180-degree turns. Here we can make quarter turns, that's fine. Alright, 4 by 6 by 8. Not bad. I could have scrambled that one a little better, but it looks really cool. These puzzles all look like candy. Now for the 6 by 8 by 10. Oh, it's a big one. My camera overheated like it usually does. I really need to invest in a better camera for this. I mean, the Sony Alpha camera I have works well for digital pictures, but let's see, yeah. What do you think? Is this good? I think that's good for now. Now this one. Ugh. It's gonna take a long. This puzzle is one of the harder ones to scramble. You have to really get into it and start using reduction moves and rotating corners to fully scramble it. Kind of do a checkerboard kind of thing. See, this is all bandaged already. See, okay, so we have 4 layers still here, but soon enough, what I think is going to happen is I'll only have 3 available to turn. Yeah, see, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Did I show all of them? And so what I'll have to do is I'll have to really get in there to scramble these up. It's tough. I think I'll do that off camera and then come back and show you what it looks like, because it's gonna take me a minute. I am giving up on scrambling this puzzle for now. I'm too tired and my brain hurts just from making this video and scrambling these puzzles. As you can see, there's a lot of pieces that are right next to each other. It's a difficult puzzle to scramble because you have to orient the corners and free stuff up and then separate stuff. You can imagine it takes a while. It's a good idea. It's a cool puzzle. It's tough though. So this is the 5x6x7 or 5x6x7 floppy iCube Extreme. We have the 6x6x4 scrambled, the Chimera Wannabe cube, the 4x6x8. This one's probably one of my favorites that I made with super glue, and the big boy, the 6x8x10. I did an okay job scrambling these. The next video is going to be hand mods, all puzzles that I made using epoxy sculpt, and we're going to leave the super glue puzzles behind for now. So stay tuned, keep watching, thanks.